This was me when I started my hair growth journey, and this is how my hair looks now. I was able to grow my hair to this length majorly through protective styling, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I was able to use protective styling over the years to grow my hair to this length. Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome. Here in this channel we'll talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So I'm starting a new series on the channel where I'm going to be sharing with you guys every single thing that helps me grow my hair to tailbone length. So today is the first part of that series where I'm going to be showing you my protective styling journey over the years and how I was able to use that to grow my hair to tailbone length. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. So I'm going to start by telling you guys the major reason why I chose protective styling as my secret weapon when it comes to hair growth. So I noticed that the more I kept my hair in protective styles, the longer my hair grew and the more it flourished. So as I noticed this, I just stuck with it, and ever since then I have not looked back, and my hair has just flourished non-stop since then. And that is why up to this day I still do protective style challenges. So yeah, that was a major reason why I chose protective styling as my secret weapon, and I don't regret it. Now, there is a myth some people believe about protective styles where they believe that protective styling is equal to neglect. Some people believe that when you leave your hair in long-term protective styles, you are neglecting your hair. This is not true. Even with long-term protective styles, you can still take care of your hair. Protective styles does not equal neglect. You can put your hair in protective styles and take care of your hair. Your hair can be in protective styles and you'll be able to take care of your hair. And on the other hand, you can neglect your hair when your hair is not even in protective styles. So protective styling does not equate to hair neglect. You can absolutely take care of your hair even while in protective styles. So like I said, I'm going to be taking you guys through my protective styling journey, how my protective styling started, everything I did. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the styles I have installed ever since I started my hair growth journey step by step, how long I carried each style, and how they generally contributed to growing my hair to tailbone length. So the very first style I installed when I started my hair growth journey was African threading. This was what I started with, and honestly up to date this is one of the best protective styles I have ever installed, because the results I got from installing African threading is just the best, honestly. So when I started, I was carrying this style for about 1 month. So I'll install them, 1 month later I'll take them down, wash my hair, and just repeat the whole process. So this was what I was doing for the first few months of my hair growth journey up to the 6th month. So 6 months into my hair growth journey, I decided to switch things up, and this was when I installed box braids. Honestly, before now, I was scared of experimenting with other protective styles. Like when I started, African threading was my go-to, and I was scared of using other styles that involved extensions because I was scared that they were going to lead to hair breakage and all of that. But sticking with African threading throughout my hair growth journey was not realistic. Apart from the fact that it's nice to switch up your styles, guys, this style was painful. Like looking back now, how was I even able to keep up with the pain? Like that was one of the major turn off for me for this style. But outside the pain, honestly guys, this is one of the best protective styles I installed. Like the length I got from it, the moisture retention, like everything was just on point. But I just had to switch things up, and this was when I started experimenting with other protective styles. So the next protective style I installed, like I said earlier, was box braids, and this was 6 months into my hair growth journey. So I installed medium-sized box braids. They were not too small, they were not too big, and up to this day that is how I still like my box braids, medium size. So for the next couple of months I stuck with box braids, and I was carrying them for 6 weeks. So from 1 month while doing Africa training, I now increased the duration of my protective styles to 6 weeks while I was doing box braids. So after 6 months of using box braids, I decided to test another protective style, and this time around sew-ins. So this was already 1 year into my hair growth journey. So I was also carrying my sew-ins for 6 weeks. So at this point, I was basically alternating between sew-ins and box braids. I'll install box braids, carry them for 6 weeks, take them down, install a sew-in, carry them for 6 weeks, and this was just what I was doing for the next 1 to 2 years before I finally decided to introduce another protective style, which was twists. So when I started installing twists, I was already 2 to 3 years into my hair growth journey. Shocking, right? But at this time, I was still carrying my protective styles for 6 weeks. So you guys see how I was gradually increasing both the style and duration of my protective styles. I did not just wake up one morning and started installing all the protective styles in the world. I stuck with a protective style for a while after seeing the results with that, and after I was able to properly manage that, develop a routine for it and all of that, then I added another protective style. So this was how I basically built my protective styling regimen right from the onset. So I started from one protective style, then to two protective styles, then to three protective styles, while gradually increase the duration over the years. So when I say today that I can carry my protective styles for up to 4 months, it did not just start on one random morning. I have been building my hair over the years. I have been building my protective styling over the years to get to this point. So at this point, like 2 to 3 years into my hair growth journey, after introducing twists, what I was doing then was just switching up the protective styles. So I'll alternate between twists, sew-ins, and box braids. At this point, I was not doing African threading again. So the only time I did African threading was during the first year of my hair growth journey. That was like the starter point. That was like the booster. So after that, I used other protective styles to maintain and grow my hair. So I was just rotating between twists, sew-ins, and box braids. So my next goal at this point was to now increase the duration of my protective styles, since I was literally installing most of the basic protective styles at this point, like sew-ins are in, box braids are in, twists are in. So I had my three basics with me. So my next goal at this point was to now increase the duration. So from 6 weeks, I started carrying my protective styles for 2 months. So I kept this up for a while over the next couple of months and even years. But there was a time again I decided to switch things up and install another protective style. This was 4 years into my hair growth journey, and the protective style was crochet. So I had this crochet that I got from a local beauty store close to me. I think I actually used about 3 packs then. And guys, when I tell you that this style was heavy, because the extensions itself was heavy, and I used 3 packs. I think I installed this style just twice because I noticed that I got breakage from it, so I did not really continue it. But when I installed them, I carried them for 2 months. But yeah, like I said, I could not keep up with it because I noticed that every time I installed it, I would get breakage more than usual. And ever since then, I have not installed crochet again because of the fear of that breakage. So I was thinking the breakage could be because of the weight of the extensions, because the more heavier your extensions are, the more they're going to pull on your hair strands, cause traction, breakage, and all of that. So that could be what was responsible. Another thing I considered was the installation process. So you know that when you are installing crochet and you are using the crochet pin, it can actually get caught up in your hair, snap, and cause breakage. So that was another thing I considered. So I'm going to try it again, maybe in the future, but this time around, I'm going to make sure I use lightweight crochet, and I'm also going to try to be careful during the installation process. So that's it about my crochet journey. But during all this time, I was using buns as well. So buns are usually my short-term protective styles, which I normally use when I'm taking a break from my long-term protective styles. So for example, immediately after I get a fresh relaxer and maybe I just want to let my hair rest before the next long-term protective style, what I use at this point is buns. So buns has always been a part of my staple right from the onset, like start of my hair growth journey. So these are my go-to short-term protective styles when I'm taking a break from my long-term protective styles. So I continued with my usual routine, that's switching up between box braids, twists, and sew-ins, and carrying them each for 2 months. I continued this till about 2020, which was 6 years into my hair growth journey. And this was when my hair got to a growth plateau, and I decided to really focus on my hair, take care of my hair, build a hair regimen, know about my hair, spend time with my hair. So I started doing my hair myself, and this was a turning point for my hair and my protective styles, because prior to now, all my protective styles, I usually had them done at a salon, all the sew-ins or the box braids or the twists, everything was at a salon. So at this point, I decided to do everything myself. This was 6 years into my hair growth journey, and things had to change, okay, because I didn't know how to install sew-ins. So this was when I stopped installing sew-ins on my hair. So the only things I could do were box braids, twists, and cornrows. And honestly, I was very terrible when I started installing protective styles myself. In fact, you need to see my first set of protective styles. Like, you would laugh. Yeah, that's how serious it was. But as the years went by and as I kept on doing them myself, I got better, and I can't even remember the last time I went to a salon right now. Yeah, that was 2020. So for the past 5 years, I have not stepped my feet into a hair salon to like do my hair or install a protective style. So right from then till now, I have been installing my styles myself. So I stuck with braids, twists, and cornrows. And then one major change I did was now increasing the duration of my protective styles. So from 2 months, I started carrying them for 3 months. And guys, this made such a huge difference. Like, I started retaining length again, my hair flourished more, my hair grew more, and I was just enjoying the whole process. Now fast forward to 2021, I started using wigs. That sounds funny and shocking, right? Yeah, that was when I started using wigs. So I didn't start using wigs until I was about 6 to 7 years into my hair growth journey. So I started using wigs 2021, this is 2025. So 4 years ago, that was when I started using wigs. And ever since I started using them, they have become a part of my staples. So moving on from 2021 to 2025, I started doing relaxer stretches. And this was when my protective styling even became more helpful, because without protective styling, there is no way I can stretch my relaxers. Like, that is how important protective stylists are to me when it comes to relaxer stretches. So I had to make sure I was on top of my game with my protective styles. So I was literally doing protective style challenges. So anytime I was on a relaxer stretch, I was doing protective style challenges. And the protective styles I was installing at this point were still the same. I was still installing wigs, braids, twists, cornrows, but then I made a little change to it. So prior to this period, I was using extensions majority of the time. So when I was installing braids, twists, I would use extensions. But when I started relaxer stretches, I basically spent more time with my hair alone, like without extensions. So this was when I started things like mini braids, like without using extensions. So I installed mini braids for the first time during my 1 year relaxer stretch, which was, I think, 2022. Yeah, around 2022. So from that time till now, I think I have installed mini braids like thrice in total. Shocking. Another shocking fact about my protective styling journey. Yeah, I have installed mini braids, I think, a total of 3 times. The first was during my 1 year relaxer stretch, which was around 2022. The next was during my 16 months relaxer stretch, which was last year. And the third one was this year during this current relaxer stretch. Another thing I did was to increase the duration of my protective styles again. So from 3 months, I started carrying some protective styles for 4 months. It's not all the time I do this. Sometimes I carry them for 3 months, sometimes I carry them for 4 months, just depending on my mood and depending on how my hair is looking. So yeah, I just kept on doing this, and this is what I still do up to today. So for my current protective styles, I alternate between wigs, cornrows, braids, twists, mini braids, and I usually carry them for 2 to 4 months. Now I carry my cornrows and my mini braids initially without adding anything to them. For example, I can carry them for like 1 to 2 months without adding any form of covering or anything on them or extensions. But when they start getting old, I start putting on wigs. So I don't use wigs right from the onset, like right from when I install cornrows or mini braids. I carry them like that till they start getting old, and then I throw on a wig. So that is basically my protective styling journey, guys. This is what I have done when it comes to protective styling over the years. This is the styles I have installed and how I gradually increase the duration of my protective styles. Of course, I'm going to make another video in this series telling you guys about how I maintain my protective styles, how I take care of them, and yeah, a lot of other things that you are going to be seeing as part of this series. Okay, so yeah, that's it for my protective styling journey. And if you are a protective styling girly like me, let me know in the comment section down below your favorite protective style, like which style has helped you the most when it comes to length retention and improving the health of your hair. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.